What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Line Game Day MLB Playbook live stream here. Got 12 games on the main slate. It's a lot of baseball games here on a Friday. Some pretty good pitching matchups. We did the preview show. We broke it all down for you earlier this morning. We had some nice takes, some good lineup building at the end of the show here. Henry Wilson did the playbook. That is out for all of you to go check out here as well. We appreciate you all tuning in each and every day. I know the NFL season has started. We had an exciting Thursday night football matchup between the Ravens and Chiefs last night, and now we have some Friday night football here between the Eagles and Packers. That'll be kicking off tonight as well. So a little double dip early in the NFL action, but we appreciate you all tuning in still to our NFL DFS show. If you could hit a like, a share, a subscribe over on X, over on YouTube. It is a free way to support the work we do here. And if you want to leave a comment in the chat, just hit that subscribe button. It's completely free to subscribe. It does not cost you $1. But it allows you to enter some comments, some questions in the chat for us to answer for you as we get you ready for this 12-game main slate. James, early thoughts here on this slate? Anything changed for you throughout the day from what we discussed this morning?
I mean, a few things. Some pitchers changed from what we were talking about last night. They had Quintana listed. It's now Manaya.
Full lefty, at least.
A better one too.
Yeah.
Gershon Garabito is pitching for the Rangers, and he has pitched for the Rangers in short stints. He was fully stretched out in the minors before his call up. His last start, he made 76 pitches. So I don't know what to really like what the length of Gershon Garabito is going to be tonight, but obviously, like, still Chase Anderson / Jose Urena is behind him, and those are two pitchers that have been around baseball for a long time and have not been very good for a long time.
Anderson's third team this year. I know he was on the Red Sox for a spell and was horrific.
I mean, he's pitched for the Rangers for a little bit and has not pitched well, but the Rangers just need warm bodies, right? I mean, they just need people to pitch given the amount of injuries they've had. Yeah. So that was a change. The Reds are going with an opener. It's not Williamson today. It is Fernando Cruz, who has turned into like their full-time opener.
Yeah, they got Jacob Junis.
So it could technically. This has happened a few times, okay? This has happened a few times lately. DraftKings has listed the wrong fault, because it's hard, dude. And this is, I think, why the MLB wants to go to the
mandatory innings.
Yeah, because Jacob Junis is listed.
Yep.
Yesterday, Williamson was listed. Unless we're in the building, we don't know who's warming up, right?
Someday Kenta Maeda may not come out of the bullpen. You know, we just
someday Kenta Maeda might not ever come out of the bullpen, and that would be super unfortunate for anybody on that given day. So, it might be Williamson, it might be Junis. We don't have that information. We've seen it a couple times. Even beat writers will be like, "Yeah, Brandon Williamson's expected to be the long man, and Brandon Williamson doesn't pitch for 3 more days." So. Yeah, I mean, they're stuff like that is kind of frustrating with the opener. But nothing else is it's an elite pitching slate. There's obviously lineups that we'll have to talk about with Ketel Marte has been activated. Kyle Tucker has been activated too.
I saw that. Yeah, Corey Lee just got scratched. Not that we were looking to play him tonight anyways, but one less bat against Pavetta.
One less bat. Alec Boehm was placed on the IL today. So there's been singular player movement.
Hilarious that Tucker's back, right? Because we went months without knowing what was wrong with him. Find out that he had a fractured leg.
I mean, it had to be.
It did. It had to be that.
Weren't you the one saying this whole time? You're like, how long can someone be out with You were every day Googling how bad is the worst bone bruise possible?
Yeah. So he had a fractured leg, but then we get the update. That's what happened, and then he's back a week later. So nobody could have given us an update in between there. So let's get into it again. We appreciate you guys all tuning in here. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you're not yet a subscriber to the YouTube channel, that's all you gotta do is click that button right there, subscribe for free. and you can leave your comments in the chat section there, and we'll help you guys build your lineups for us today. Scooble, Wheeler, King, Valdez, Reagans, Miller are your 9K and above starting pitchers. Last night, we were immediately drawn to Zach Wheeler in his start against Miami. Throughout the day, has anything changed for you when it comes to who you're looking to pay for today?
I mean, dude, this is one of those slates, in my opinion, that we need to find value at the dish, right? And we need to take specific positions and spend down, because I think the top three arms all have 40 fantasy point upside on DraftKings. I mean, you're talking about the American League Cy Young in a massive ballpark in Oakland, a team who is good against lefties, but they do strike out a lot. And you know what? He was limited last time out, right, John? 8 innings, 98 pitches, 8 strikeouts. That's a limit for Tarek Skubal, apparently. So easily can go to Skubal. Wheeler's in as good a spot as you can possibly be in tonight against Miami. And he's probably the runner-up in the National League Cy Young. And then Michael King has as good a spot as the other two. Michael King gets a Giants offense that over the last month has struck out the second most in baseball and the third most against right-handed pitching. Like, who's to say Michael King doesn't have 10 plus strikeouts and 40 fantasy points after a complete game at home tonight, right? So I think this is a slate that you're taking a look at and you're saying, I need to find value bats because I want 2 of these 3 top 3 arms.
Yeah, I'm with you. Listen, Michael King, we've seen put up some big strikeout numbers. He's obviously cheaper than the other guys above him slightly, obviously, than Wheeler. A couple $100 more for Scooble, which can be the difference in building out your overall lineups. Wheeler, for me, is still the one I'm initially gravitating towards here, but you certainly don't mind any of that group. From there on, I jumped right to Nick Pivetta this morning. Have you found any renewed interest in Valdez, Reagans, Miller, Fried in that group?
No, I mean, Reagans has a crazy strikeout ceiling, but I don't think we need to. I think it's Pivetta. As you know, it's cold in Boston today, 60 degrees. It's only going to get colder as the night goes on, and cold air just doesn't translate to offense for baseball. Right. So I like Pivetta against, the improved White Sox offense last month, John, 26th in OPS, WOBA, and WRC plus, and that's improved on the year, right? I mean, they're not 30th. So I like Pivetta a lot. I would say the only other name I have interest in, and a lot of interest actually, is Sean Manaea. And that's just with the way he's pitched, and you get Cincinnati in a ballpark that's not their ballpark. I mean, he was 8,700 twice in the last 4 slates.
Yeah.
And he has only proceeded to go 18, 25, 32, 27 fantasy points, and then lost $500 on his price tag. Yeah. So,
and he faced 2 good teams in that stretch of Baltimore and Arizona, 9 and 11 strikeouts in those 2 starts as well, which is kind of crazy. So, and then we talk about it, right? Cincinnati, you get them outside of the Great American Ballpark, and their numbers dip down slightly. I mean, they're still a good team against left-handed pitching. Don't get me wrong, with 25% strikeout rate, 250 average, the 140 ISO when they're on the road. Overall, against left-handed pitching on the year, they've generally been much better. So, you take advantage of that while you can, and look for Manaea here tonight.
Dude, they're 21st in OPS against lefties this year.
Yeah.
I mean, 20th in WOBA. 89 WRC plus is 25th in baseball.
It's a good spot for him. Exactly. You get him in that, away from their favorable home ballpark, and it's just an easier spot to exploit.
Sign me up.
So you got him. You got Pivetta, obviously, in the mid tier. Again, a little upgrade, definitely over Quintana. After that, though, we kind of, again, struggled to find some value. I threw out Dean Kremer. I'm still willing to go here. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't know if we could do it. Not my favorite spot.
Sure.
Like, I understand that
any better or worse than like his numbers suggest he is. Like, he's got a 4.5 ERA, he's got a 4.5 FIP. He is a quality start, right?
He's a quality. He's
a quality start.
That is hilarious. That's what a descriptor. I mean, like he has. If you look at the last 30 days of data, the expected ISO versus righties 220 is scary considering Yandy Diaz has been really good and Caminero exists in the world, right? So like that is a little bit terrifying. I believe they're hitting Ronda second today. He's a lefty. So that that plays well. It's like I would rather not a lot of this interests me because it's either tough spots, inconsistent pitchers, and we have such elite pitching. I feel like I'm just leaving so much meat on the bone not having like both pitchers Manaya and up, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm dropping anywhere, like Manaya is probably realistically as far down as I'd go. Like I know there's a large pitching pool. There's 24 teams, but dude, like
I think for me again, Creamer is more so like if I am trying to stack big bats, like multiple big bats,
right?
Then I think you can go down there. And again, he's kind of just pitching to the guys. Even over his last 5 starts, it is a 303 WOBA against like good numbers. He's not giving up home runs. 3.43 FIP, but his exit's 4.7. It's around the same thing as what his ERA is. Like. He's just giving up hits, I guess. Like 1.4 whip isn't great, but 1.8 walks per 9 is a pretty. Or sorry, 1.8 K per walk. It's like okay. You'd wish he had a better than 2-to-1 walk ratio, but he's not getting killed. He's just like he's just average. He's just quality start. So, but yeah, like Fetty against Seattle maybe would be a spot if you wanted to look for some more value. He's been obviously up and down, better at times this year, way better at home this year. But we've talked about Seattle hitting better on the road. So weigh that out as you wish.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like there's a ceiling with Fetty tonight because of the strikeouts, right? He hasn't been a big strikeout guy this year. He's at 21.5%, but 15 strikeouts in his last 2 games coming against the Twins and the Yankees, and now gets the team that struck out more than anybody else in baseball against righties. So, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I liked it more last night until I just like had the realization I'd rather just start my lineup with 60 fantasy points and figure it out from there. I mean, like that's how I feel. Again, I don't want to like just continuously beat the same drum, but like I feel like I'm losing an edge not playing Scuba Wheeler, King, and that's just kind of where I am today.
Sure. Catcher. What's the plug?
I mean, Cal Raleigh is definitely interesting. When you look at the Eric Fetty stuff from lately, it hasn't been great. And that's the scary part for Eric Fetty. Last 30 days, lefties have a 283 ISO, 384 WOBA against him.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of love that when you're facing Cal Raleigh. Like all you're getting is home runs. So that would be the probably one spend up I'd be interested in. I will say Tyler Stevenson. I know we liked Manaya, but Tyler Stevenson's obviously been as good as anybody else at the catcher position this year and lately. Logan O'Hoppe, $4,000. I mean, he has been really bad. He is always one pitch away from leaving the yard, and at catcher, like that's always an advantage. And then you drop into like the value tier. I have exponentially grown my interest in the Padres today. So you look at Mason Black's numbers. It's as a major league pitcher, he has been terrible. Higashioka has monster numbers against righties this year. And we've talked about that when he was in New York. It was just like he could only hit lefties. And sometimes, like you're like, oh, this historical data tells me one thing, but you need to trust the data from the entire this year, right? It's like the Orlando Arcia thing. How Orlando Arcia's whole career has hit lefties. Well, this year it's been righties. It's the same for Higashioka. He has massive numbers against righties. I don't think we have gotten a Padres lineup just yet, so I'm assuming he'd be in it. Kirk at 3,300 hitting 4th tonight. We gave the Carson Kelly shout $3,100. He's hitting 8th. No Corey Lee anymore. I don't see any punt catchers I don't know if you do, but I
Nope.
personally don't see it.
Nope. I like everything you said there. First base. We're looking to spend up today, or do you find some more appealing plays in the mid and value tiers?
I'm definitely interested in the top tier, and I'm after the Phillies let me down yesterday, John. There's
Yeah,
nothing like going back to the well, right? Nothing
sure.
like going back to the well and having them let you down once again. And that's how I feel with the Phillies today because they were largely disappointing when you spent, I mean, almost $13,000 of your salary on Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper for them to give you 7 fantasy points combined. It's a little disappointing, But like you look at the Edward Cabrera splits, and it's just so heavily favored for lefties. Last 30 days, 241 ISO, 388 WOBA allowed. Even expand that to 90 days, 225 ISO, 349 WOBA allowed. Like everything that Edward Cabrera throws is just like down the middle for lefties, and he just gets crushed by lefties. So I love Bryce Harper. You can get to Vladito, you can get to Shohei, you can
Yeah.
get to Freeman. They're all fine. Pete Alonso probably a little less appealing with opener slash maybe not Brandon Williamson
Right,
pitching
right,
anymore.
righties on the mound now here.
Well, we think we don't know
We
if you're
don't know.
playing the Mets and Brandon Williamson comes out of the on the mound. You're happy.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, great. This is
D-backs lineup out. Marte DHing and leading off, so not playing the field today.
not playing the
Uh,
field. No.
is leading off the Grichuk hitting third. Christian Walker clean up. Suarez, McCarthy, Newman, Perdomo, and Herrera hitting ninth today.
Interesting lineup. And that goes to
Grichuk
show
hitting
you
third. So that's
Corby hitting second against the lefty. That shows you where he's at right now.
yeah. They bumped Perdomo down to eighth. We asked what would happen with that. I got our answer.
So yeah, I mean, I think Bryce is probably my top spend at first, and then I don't have like a ton of interest in much else. I saw you head over to fantasyalarm.com today and look at the MLB DFS playbook done by Henry Wilson. He has Yandy Diaz written up, $4,200. He has been really good of late, and Kramer's been not great. So I do understand it, and he's been specifically bad against right-handed bats. So I don't hate the Yandy Diaz play.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously some strong recent production out of him there. $4,200. So if you're not in on the spend down, can get to it there. I still like Casas, $4,600. I know I got Anthony in the chat saying that the White Sox are better than the Red Sox today, and he likes Gavin Sheets. Gavin Sheets hitting fifth at 3K today against Nick Pivetta. What have we said about Nick Pivetta, though? He either will have 13 strikeouts today and shut them out. He'll have 13 strikeouts while giving up 5 runs, or he'll just give up 5 runs. So,
I mean,
maybe Gavin Sheets.
I mean, I'm never gonna I would never blame anybody for playing Nick Pivetta, but also like you said, there's just zero upside, or there's a 0 point floor and a 50-point ceiling. So it is what it is. I don't hate Gavin Sheets. I wouldn't say I'm going out of my way to play him because he hasn't even been really good against righties this year. 127 ISO.
Yeah.
Guy that we were playing for cheap home runs, right?
Yeah.
And Anthony, to your comment, Bryce is hurt. I mean, he got hit with a pitch, left the game and even said precautionary reasons. And I'm not saying he looked good yesterday, but he also just, left the game and he even said it, I'm good. And he played the next day. So I don't know. I wouldn't classify that as hurt. I would just classify that as what he said. He left the game precautionary reasons, was in the lineup the next day.
Sure. Second base.
Whoa.
What? I asked if you had anybody else. So you got anybody else? What do you got?
I don't think I answered.
Well, you didn't speak fast enough. What do you got? Who are we playing? Cody Clemens?
I got nothing else. You can go for a second.
Okay. Second base then. Wait, do we play him?
Whom? No. Cattell? He's great. I don't know if would I prioritize him against Framber at 5,800 coming off the IL? I don't know. You can. He's great.
Are you spinning up at the position then?
I mean, Marcus Semien, if you're playing Rangers, who I do think is a little bit interesting today. Zebby Matthews, all the numbers suggest lefties are going to get to him. I know Michael Massey's been bad of late.
Sure.
If you want to play Massey, I'd say my favorite second baseman probably on the slate is Bryson Stott. That'd probably be where I'd go. Stott's been really, really good. Last 13 games, hitting over 300, 900 plus OPS. Hitting
He has his
fifth.
moments. He has his moments, that's for sure.
And they've all been coming lately. So
yeah.
I think Stott probably is like my favorite like 4K and up second baseman.
Sure. Colt Keith's 37. McNeil against whatever the Cincinnati Reds will throw out there is 33. Donovan's been good, 35.
Yep, Donovan 35 for sure. Clemens, I know you mentioned him at first, but
we got Emmanuel Valdez today, but Trevor Story being activated tomorrow. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Fun stuff going on in Boston here.
They're gonna shift Ceddanne Rafaela to second base, by the way. So we'll soon have Ceddanne at second.
Why? Isn't Trevor Story should play second, wasn't
I don't disagree, but Trevor Story's gonna play short and Ceddanne Rafaela is gonna play second.
Boston is definitely trading Jarren Duran for a bag of peanuts. They don't know what they're doing. Holy cow.
Anything else at second?
No, but like why dude. Your most important
Story's a good shortstop, but I mean Ceddanne's a very good shortstop.
You have gone on these airwaves and said Ceddanne Rafaela is like the best defender in baseball already.
Well, they said like they said when he was in the minor leagues, his glove was Gold Glove caliber, 2 positions, short and center.
So what are we doing? Those are your two leader like cornerstone positions in the field.
Because I don't know, they made some weird promises to Story when they gave him that contract that he would play short. So,
well, he played second all of last year. Is that what threw him off, right?
Yeah. Who knows? Sure. That's why they got rid of Xander Bogaerts. So, do we like Vlad at first? Yeah, we like Vlad at first. Yeah. Pod saying hit the like button, hit the like and the subscribe. You want to comment? Hit that subscribe button. Free way to do it. Completely free. You don't have to pay anything to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's a free way to support the work we do here, and you can also hit that like button. Third base, not third button, third base. Fourth button on the screen. Fifth button on the screen. Third button.
Math is hard.
I've been doing a lot of shows today. Third base. Where are we looking to go?
Jose Ramirez is interesting. I was looking at the data for Cleveland or Landon Knack. All the power is coming against righties this year. 4 righties. So like Cleveland has the potential to throw like 8 lefties out there. The expected numbers are better than the actual numbers. So, maybe some positive regression for lefties here, but I'm good with Ramirez. I don't like him as much as I did earlier, but definitely good on the Guardians if you want to stack them. Devers, I don't like you. Of course, you can if you want to stack Boston if you have the funds.
I mean, we've been a little iffy on the shoulders with him there. He's at least back it in second, but
yeah, I just don't know. Like, if I'm playing Boston, I don't want to just like.
Yeah, we talked about it. We'd rather pay up for Duran tonight than
So I don't know.
We like the mid tier. We can cut it right down to it. You like Vientos, you like Josh Young, and those 2 matchups.
Well, the Vientos thing I do, but I don't now because
he has power against both sides. And
I know
he has more power against one side.
I know. I'm just saying I like it a little less than. I mean, I was surefire all in against Brandon Williamson making a second start. Now It's like, well, if Jacob Junis comes in, Junis has been pretty good out of the bullpen. I'm not saying I'm not playing him, but like I've also my like for like Manny Machado has grown throughout the day because I just love the matchup against Mason Black. He's been awful against both splits. Obviously, San Diego is expensive, so it's not easy to get there. I like Eugenio hitting 5th. I think that's incredibly interesting. He gets a lefty in Framber if you're like anti-Framber. Josh Young, dude, I mean, they are moving him up in the lineup, hitting 3rd. I think that's incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
$4,200. has been really good lately. I mean, 4 multi-hit games in his last 5 multi-hit games in his last 7 overall. That's incredibly interesting. I think seeing the splits for Kramer where he struggles more against righties puts me on the Caminero, just like will hit a 450-foot home run tonight. That's interesting. So, like, yeah, I like Vientos, but there's also, I think, a bunch of guys right below him that with the like way they've shifted their lineup, I kind of like them more.
Okay. Value tier at third base tonight?
I don't think it exists. I mean, you could play like Espinal, you can play Kike. I think
Sure.
both those guys are fine options. Jace Young
So would you
will
play like Jace Young all the way down here at 26?
he'll get pinch hit for probably eventually, but he's okay.
Okay.
Anthony, I don't have interest in Jake Berger. I mean, that's he's facing. You're a Phillies fan. He's facing like this runner-up in Cy Young this year. He's
Yeah,
given
I
up.
mean, I don't anticipate Wheeler struggling today. So
He struggled against Miami earlier in the year. He's made 3 bad starts this year. One of them surely came against Miami in Miami. But if you're asking me if I like Jake Berger because Zach Wheeler struggled against Miami in May, I feel that's silly.
okay. Shortstop. Looking to spend up?
Definitely a position you can. I mean, I don't think there's a wrong answer. I've said this. You and I have had a difference in opinions on Ellie, like when he faces a lefty, and the only difference is like I just say you can play him because all it takes is a single for Ellie De La Cruz to
Be on third.
to get you there. I mean, because like Ellie De La Cruz is live to steal 3 bases after he singles. So I'm good with all of them. Like Ellie's bottom of that tier for me, but I think Witt is very live to go yard tonight. I think Lindor has been great against both splits. Am I again? I'm not as thrilled with the matchup. Fernando Cruz has a really high striker rate. I know it's not going to be like a lengthy outing because he's just opening, but we're going to see him pitch 1, 2, possibly 3 innings. He's thrown back-to-back multi-innings as the opener. So, well, I mean, Berger. I don't have the FanDuel price in front of me with Jake Berger. For DraftKings, he's $4,700. So that doesn't help us on DraftKings.
Yeah.
I'm good with any of the top 5, for sure.
Going down to the mid tier. We had talked NATO a lot. You've been on LA. Pena, Clement, like what are your thoughts on this mid 4K and below range?
It's fine. Like NATO is definitely interesting, 45 if you're playing the Angel stack. I was looking at some Garabito numbers. They've been pretty good at the minor league level. A lot of ground balls because he's a sinker ball pitcher. So I hate that. But like if he is a traditional opener and we do get Anderson Urena, like Jose Urena coming in next, obviously appealing. So NATO and the Angels do profile pretty well. Pena, I just can never get Jeremy Pena right ever, ever, ever. I think has to be my most frustrating roster. I'm not kidding. Like that guy, I just don't. I will not play him. And I know we shouldn't do that, but I will not. Ernie Clement, 37, hitting 5th. The Blue Jays can't figure out who to hit 5th, so they just plug and play different guys every day. And Clement gets the assignment today. Edman is obviously a cheap way to get Dodgers exposure. You mentioned it last night. Like I'm very intrigued by how the rest of Matt Boyd's season goes because like he's 33. He's coming off Tommy John. He's been a mediocre pitcher for his entire career. He's pitching way above average this year in like the 4 starts that he's made where I mean he was literally perfect. Oh no, that was Cobb. But I mean he has pitched extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he has a 51% fly ball rate. going up against a team and a 36% hard hit rate going up against the Dodgers, who you'll probably and to Anthony's point, he's been like literally championing the Dodgers this whole time.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of home run equity for the Dodgers, right? And when you have a 51% fly ball rate and a 36% hard hit rate going against the Dodgers, like that is a terrible recipe. So like I'm definitely a lot more interested in Dodgers than I was last night. Like Edmund included 3,700, just given how good he's profiled against lefties this whole
Sure. Any other values for you? I know it gets a little bleak as we work our way down. Any straight up punts?
Your boy Leo Jimenez is a cheap home run waiting to happen always.
Sure. Outfield. He's mentioning cheap plays get you Betts or Ohtani. $700 difference between the two. Betts profiling better against the lefty here in Boyd than Ohtani for you?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
it was like Betts. I mean, Ohtani strikes out more than Betts too, so you have like that little.
I mean, like they're both just so good.
I know. The other day they walked Ohtani to pitch to Betts, and Betts hit like the 3-run home run. They're like,
it's like that's like the thing. Like, what do you do? Like with these players, right? Like walking Soto in front of Judge, walking Ohtani in front of Betts. Like that's just an unfair advantage to have on those teams. So there's you said it last night. You asked the question on the pre-show, who of the 5K tier wouldn't you play?
Right.
And you basically were like Hauser because he's 5,400. And that's probably still true because we've even had like guys added to with Tucker coming back.
Tucker.
Like so and I personally love Fernando Tatis, who has profiles really good against Mason Black. He has 200 plus ISO against righty. So like the answer is everybody at the 5K plus tier. You know, like favorites, Dodgers, Duran, Schwarber. I love Schwarber for a home run. I think I made Schwarber a thumbs up Schwarber picture as our cover today because like I'm gonna hit a home run today. He was giving us like the thumbs up, like I'm gonna hit a home run today. So yeah, you can play anyone above 5K.
Sure. Going down below 4,800, I like Jackson Merrill. Again, just going Padres, as you mentioned, really great spot for them here. If you're anti-creamer, I guess Josh Lowe would be someone you'd like at 45. Going in that matchup.
I mean, I like the righties better, but I am not against. I'm not against Josh.
He's on another one of those like heaters that he finds.
He does. He does, dude. He does this really randomly.
Like he's played 80 games and he's got 21 stolen bases and 9 homers. If this guy was healthy at all this year, like we'd be looking at some pretty gross counting stats. So got that going for us. Obviously, I like all Detroit. I know Riley Green was a bit expensive there, but whether it's Carpenter, Parker Meadows with the grand slam last night,
so sad. Robert Suarez.
Yeah, Robert Suarez.
Pain.
Is he on your team, Suarez?
Evichier.
Okay, got it. Parker Meadows with the walk-off, not the walk-off, but the grand slam last night. So yeah, give me the Detroit outfield here. DePrince wants the one stack to win it all. It's like a Lord of the Rings thing. What's the one stack to win it all?
Okay, I will say I'm going to give you my top 3.
Okay.
Philadelphia, because I'm sick in the head and I want to go back to Philly with a great lefty, specifically Philly, the Dodgers, and my cheap stack. And we're about to get to a couple of them. The Rangers. That's my third. That's my off the board stack. For Rangers.
Cleanup hitter for the Rangers tonight. Adolis homered last today. It's $4,400.
Back to back 3 RBI games too. Another guy who just like does things in bunches, right? Just like again 30 and 90 probably this year if he has a really good.
I got him on my bench today in our Roto League, and I'm wavering because I put Garrett Mitchell in, not on this slate, Garrett Mitchell, but
Ryan is it Feltner pitching?
Feltner got thrown him and Chorio at him today.
So Aldigiri, and Aldigiri was a little unlucky in the first game. He had a bunch of unearned runs, but he threw 70 pitches to right-handers, right, in his first start. 238 ISO, 388 WOBA,
Yeah.
93 exit velocity on all the hard hit stuff, on all the contact stuff.
This is Adolis is a guy that I've held on to just too long, waiting for like
Luis Robert for me. That's
something, right? Like he's got an
Luis
under
Robert.
700 OPS with a 220 average. I still got him on my roster. I don't know why.
I will say this, like to Adolis this year against lefties, 178 ISO. Like I am saying that I am interested because
Sure.
I am hoping for a home run, right?
Right.
Like I am playing him against a pitcher that has made one start above AA, and I am hoping for a home run. And I do think they're like the Rangers, and you can even talk about like you scroll down a little bit to Wyatt Langford at $4,000. Like Wyatt Langford this year, John, against lefties,
Yeah.
244 ISO, expected ISO 269, nice, and his WOBA 364, expected WOBA 393. Like he has been a monster against left-handed pitching. He's been a monster lately in general.
Yeah.
And there's even a cheaper Rangers outfielder that I like, and we'll get to in a little bit. We won't spoil it yet. But yeah, I think the Rangers, that would be my third. So Phillies, Dodgers, Rangers. Those are my three top stacks for the night.
Addressing Anthony's question, I don't really ever want to go against Cole Reagans. So
I will grant him that Cole Reagans lately, if you look at some of the power numbers, has been concerning. 200 ISO to righties, also to righties, 37% strike rate on the year. So like, I mean,
no one's gonna play him. I think it's a super contrarian play. The problem is like most of the time, the guys we want to play with Minnesota, they're to the left. They're the lefties, like Wallner and Larnach and
Carlos Santana is their best play, right? Probably like per dollar, he's 3,500. He's leading off. That's probably their best play.
Jeffers, maybe he's in the lineup.
Santana this year against lefties, 313 ISO, 408 WOBA.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tournament play for sure.
It is tournament. It's a large field tournament play.
Yeah. Again, Meadows is there at 4K. Rayleigh had homered yesterday. You got him there against.
He's been a monster. Yeah, he's been a monster.
Michael Harris leading off. Gossman hasn't been like anything special. But let's see what else do we got here.
Got some good value, I think. Robles leading off. Okay. 3,600. Brandon Marsh, 3,500. He has been really, really good lately.
Sure.
Obviously,
Melendez hitting cleanup.
Dude, so I wanted to get there. The Zebby Matthews numbers. You ready for them? Zebby Matthews against lefties this year. 409 ISO allowed. 468 WOBA. 409 ISO. 468 WOBA for left-handed bats. Melendez this year, 246 ISO, 325 WOBA. Pretty good numbers.
Yep.
Here's my home run call for the night. That's my home run call right there. MJ Melendez. Keep the live stream streak going. 2 in a row on the live.
I like it. All right, give me your Rangers value. Is it like what are we playing for Rangers?
$2,000. Sandro Fabian. Okay.
Getting called up.
Got called up last year in the minors. Okay. And I understand. Let me preface this, John. Okay. I'm going to preface this by saying Sandro Fabian plays for the Texas Rangers. Do you know where their minor league affiliate plays baseball?
I don't.
In what league they play?
PCL, probably?
They do. So I'm going to preface it by saying that he plays in the PCL. Last year against left-handed pitching, Sandro Fabian in 73 games hit 11 home runs, hit 388 with a 716 slug. Okay, that was last year. 1,100 OPS in the year 2023. In the year 2024, against left-handed pitching, in 72 games, Sandro Fabian, 10 home runs, has hit 370, has a 700 slug, and has 1,100 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
In back-to-back years, this man, who is $2,000, has had an 1,100 OPS and double-digit home runs in 70 games against left-handed pitching specifically. I told you I'm in on the Rangers, and I've told you I'm in on expensive pitching, right? Sandro Fabian you're not going to find a 2K player with more potential just raw power against the split that he's facing than him on the slate. And he is perfect for any lineup that's double spending at pitching. And he's perfect in a Ranger stack because truthfully, like, a 2-3-4-7 or a 2-4-5-7 stack fits your Rangers perfectly because
Sure.
I don't necessarily care about Semien tonight in your Ranger stacks. I don't necessarily feel the desire to play Nathaniel Lowe. So, like, skipping over him and just pairing Fabian, or even if you wanted to play like Fabian Carson Kelly, little 7-8, right?
Sure.
I think that makes a lot of sense. So I'm all in on my 2K punt here, Carson Kelly. Also, shout out Mickey Moniak. We didn't talk about him
Sure.
at $3,100, but Mickey Moniak also just elite outfield.
Before we get to our lineup build, Dodger Rocket here wants to know: we doing Bryce Miller or Max Fried today?
I am not in on either of those. So if you look at Bryce Miller, if you want to just pull up Bryce Miller's page here, John, we can just look at this together. He is a vastly different pitcher on the road than he is at home. And also when you look at Bryce Miller, he is not that like St. Louis has a bunch of lefties, but he does not do well with lefties. 201 ISO, 234 expected ISO for left-handed bats, 336 expected WOBA. And those only have gone up. 245 ISO over the last 30 days has only gotten worse. So, I'm kind of fully out on Bryce Miller on the road. I am fine with Max Fried. If you're looking at it from the perspective of I need to pivot off Nick Pivetta, because Pivetta is going to be popular. But like Fried versus Manaea in that same breath, Manaea I think has like a higher strikeout ceiling, especially in their matchup.
Sure.
I mean, the Blue Jays just don't strike out. So, I mean, it's fine. I mean, again, like you guys can like Bryce Miller. His strikeout prop was set at 4.5 tonight. The Cardinals don't strike out, right? So the Cardinals don't strike out. He's bad on the road. I like Bryce Miller, the pitcher, but he needs to figure it out on the road. It's a no thanks for me.
Sure. All right, so we got those two Rangers in our lineup. Where do you? What's the top pitchers? Because Dodger Rocket wants to know. We're about to build a lineup, so watch. See what
I want to pay up. I mean, I want to pay up for pitching today. If it's, I mean,
Bohm is on the IL, my friend.
They play Alec Bohm on the IL.
All right, so we got 4,100 then, $4,200. Wheeler King.
King Wheeler.
Second base, we were spending down.
We were.
Donovan,
yep.
Just crapped all over Bryce Miller road stats. We might as well do it. Third base.
This is a position that features Josh Young or Vientos or Caminero. I think
I'm good for Young there. Shortstop, we did like the Edman Rojas.
Yeah, I think either one of those guys is great because again, I think Dodger, we're like, please make sure to ask all the questions you got, brother. We appreciate your support for sure.
Yep. If you want to spend down a little bit more, we also liked Pivetta, a little bit cheaper, and we also had
Manaea too. I would say
Manaea. Yeah, Pivetta and Manaea in the 8K range were the other two pitchers that we were looking for. Ahmed Rosario, Cincinnati against Manaea. We kind of like Manaea here today, so
he hits lefties fine. He's cheap if you're not playing Manaea.
4,500.
Do you want to play Dodgers? Do you feel good about the Dodgers? You like Boyd, so we're probably
I like Boyd in certain matchups. I don't care. I'd be okay playing here.
Yeah, I agree. I like that.
We do handicap ourselves a little bit at first. Just like stick with a punt play somewhere, probably, I guess, or go down and find more value in the outfield.
Moniak.
43.
That guy has been really good. I don't know.
One off Cronenworth here versus Black, or we'll go with Henry. Henry likes Yandy. We'll go Yandy against
Let's go
Creamer
Yandy.
here.
Let's go Yandy.
All right. Example lineup, as Anthony says, Lindor goes yard today. Wheeler, King, Kelly, Diaz, Donovan, Young, Edmund, Fabian, Betts, and Moniak. We got one-offs of Diaz, Donovan, and Moniak. We got a little Dodger stack, Ranger stack with double spending up at the starting pitching position here. If you guys have any more questions, right now, Fantasy Alarm has a 7-day free trial going on. You can scan the QR code that's going to be on the screen momentarily right there. FantasyAlarm.com/win. Promo code Let's Go still gets you that first month for less than $20, but it starts off with a 7-day free trial. So try us for 7 days. That means you get our week 1 NFL DFS content for free, including tonight's showdown playbook and our MLB DFS content all week long. And then if you put in that promo code, your first month from their point on will be less than $20. It'll be $19.98. So come give us a try. FantasyAlarm.com/win. Promo code Let's Go. 7-day free trial included to start you off there. Try us out for a week, win on us, and become a member of the family for life. James, any final thoughts before we head into the weekend?
No, everyone have a great weekend. Now off Mookie Betts officially because he has good BVP against Matthew Boyd. That's got for me. Everyone stay safe this weekend. Have a great weekend. Happy first birthday to my daughter.
There you go.
Heading into the weekend, have a birthday party there. So,
friends with the last question of the show: Pivetta or Minaya, one pitcher on FanDuel.
I'm gonna say if you want to be risky, you play Minaya. If you want to just follow the field, you play Nick Pivetta.
There it is. Play Pivetta if you want the chalk. Play Minaya if you want the upside. We'll talk to you guys.